What did you think when you heard that the Grizzlies were the #1 franchise for ESPN, or how did you hear about it?
Actually, I don't remember who told me about it. Somebody told me about it, and I didn't know what it was all based off on because I hadn't read up on it or anything like that. But one thing it lets you know that things are moving in a positive direction. You gotta give a lot of credit to the fans for their support. They make everything possible and work in the right direction. But it just shows you that you get things moving in the right direction. You get the players coming here and play hard and do things in the community and things like that. It just lets you know what things can happen. So,
what's going to be the biggest transition for Nick coming over here?
For Nick?
Yeah, and what's a reasonable amount of time? I mean, how he is in training camp or how he is through the first 10 games. That isn't hopefully where he's going to be after 40 games.
You can never dictate with any player, because no matter what a player comes from, they're in different situations. They're different players. Where they coming from college, where they coming from overseas. Every player is different, so it's hard to determine that. But also at the same time, all those players coming into the NBA, they got to get adjusted to our style of game. How long does it take him? Who knows? But he does have some professional experience. He did play in that tough SEC conference, though, so I expect big things.
Tay, you've done this before in terms of blue collar team. Not a lot of big names, but working class team and that with championship expectations. Does this team feel like what you remember from your best days in Detroit?
Like I said, when I got traded here, and I was here for a while, I just sat back and observed. I didn't really say much, and just wanted to kind of get a feel from the guys and the staff and things like that. Like I said last year, there were some similarities. Obviously, our team in Detroit was a little bit more veteranized, had a lot more veterans as opposed to younger guys. But same type of motto as far as how we play on the floor and unselfish play, and really hang our hat on defense and try to bail us out of a lot of situations. So there are similarities. The one thing I was saying before is the test will be how we build on what we did last season.
Is it going to take that much more outside shooting to open things up for your big guys inside? Or not all that much?
You know what? It's not necessarily outside shooting, but it's more of making better decisions, making quicker decisions. If the shot's there, take it. If not, drive, penetrate, make plays. It's not necessarily just making the outside shots, but I do believe it's more of making quicker decisions when the ball comes out to you, or plays is being made when the big guys kick the ball out. When we was in Detroit, we had one guy we was posting up, and we wasn't a big time 3-point shooting team besides Chauncey. Chauncey makes some big threes and stuff like that, but Rashid hit some threes, but wasn't a high percentage, But what we did in Detroit was we penetrated, we made plays, and we didn't hesitate on making plays. And there were games we hit 4 or 5 threes and might have shot 5 for 21 or something like that, but we found ways to win. So.
Is there also a balance working on that more offense while maintaining the defensive level that you guys are known for? Does that take work?
Everything takes work. Everything takes work, but the most important thing is, if you have to get it started now. When I got here, in the mid-season trade, you working me and Ed and Austin into the mix, who, from the middle of the season is difficult. I don't think it was much harder for me because of experience and situations I've been in. But if we can get everything done in training camp as far as what we're going to work on and what we're going to do, and build on that throughout the course of the season, when the playoffs and later in the season come, we'll be ready for those things.
Is it important for this team to quickly learn Dave Joerger's voice as the head coach as opposed to Dave Joerger, the assistant coach?
Yes, yes. It's definitely obviously a different situation. When I was in Detroit, there was a time where I had an assistant being promoted to a head coach, and I think one of the things that we have to understand is the position that he's in. We can't look at him as Dave Joerger, the assistant coach, anymore. So if we look at him as Dave Joerger, the head coach, then we'll be in a position to learn from him and do the things that we have to do. But while he's a head coach, if we look at him as an assistant, we're not going to get better. So we have to approach it that way.
What do you take from your experience in Detroit with something similar when you had a Larry Brown who's such a legend, and you had a period of coaches where John Keister, that kind of thing, didn't really work out? Why didn't it work there, and what has to change?
Why it didn't work with John Keister? We had a young team, we had a young coach, and things didn't mesh. But the most important thing is that coach set an establishment at the beginning of the season, and players abide by that. I think when Keister was our head coach, the rules and everything wasn't set at the beginning, and then as things went on, then you try to set the rules, and then all of a sudden things start to get a little out of whack. So, as long as everything get established from the get-go and we understand what needs to be done, things will be okay.
Is that established from him or from you, or a combination of both as players?
Established from him. Obviously, he's the head coach, and we have to listen, we have to learn, and we have to take heed on what he wants to do. And then also when he does that, then it's up to me, and it's up to Mike Conley, it's up to Marcus Hall, it's up to Tony Allen, it's up to Zach Randolph, it's up to Mike Miller, the guys that are veteran guys, to be able to understand what he's doing and what he's trying to establish to the players, and we have to be able to feed that off to everybody on the team.
With looking back, how hard was it to make that trade that had never been traded at all, to move from Detroit to Memphis middle of the season, whole different situation, whole different expectation level? How tough was it looking back now?
It wasn't tough. It was tough for me as far as getting traded from Detroit. How everything went the way it went about it, but once I got here in Memphis and understood what they were doing and how they welcomed me here, that wasn't the hard part at all. The hard part was just getting my family down here and moving that season, and leaving that Detroit stuff behind. But as far as coming here to Memphis and being around these guys in the locker room and stuff like that, that was the easy part.